Everybody is talking about Roth IRAs, but where is the best place to open one and why are Roth IRAs so incredibly important? Well, in this video, I'm going to give you the top 5 places to open a Roth IRA today and tell you exactly why everybody is talking about these investment accounts. Let's go ahead and break it down. Now, the first part is the IRA. It is an individual retirement account, which means that it is just an empty box. It is a container that does give you some very specific tax benefits, but it's just an account. It's not an investment in and of itself. I've talked to dozens of people who say, yeah, I have Roth IRA, it is doing X, Y, and Z. No, that's just an account. It doesn't really do anything. It's like having, a picture of a house, but you don't own the actual house. It's just there, right? It doesn't really do anything until you start to put money into it and to start investing. So I want to be very clear about that. But what makes a Roth IRA so special? The thing here is in 2023, you can put up to $6,500 inside of a Roth IRA if you're under the age of 50. Once you're 50 and above, you can put up to $7,500 into this account. Now, every year or so, the IRS allows you to put more money. That's why I'm very specific about this particular year, how much you can put into a Roth IRA. The beauty of it is this. Imagine investing in Amazon, Apple, Tesla 10 or 15 years ago, or even 20 years ago. Now, not for Tesla, because Tesla wasn't public 20 years ago, but y'all get the point. Imagine investing in Amazon 20 years ago and allowing that to grow. And at age 59 and a half, you say, look, I want to spend all this money. And imagine how much money you would have to pay in taxes from 20 years ago for something like Amazon or Apple or even Microsoft. Well, if you had did this inside of a Roth IRA, you would pay approximately $0. $0 in taxes. That is because it's an after-tax account. Let's say when I get my paycheck and I see that gross and that net, I've already paid my taxes. I can take that money, put it inside of a Roth IRA, invest in it, and when I'm ready to retire at age 59 and a half or any age beyond 59 and a half, I can withdraw that money and pay no taxes on it. So it can be an extremely valuable tool for you in your financial freedom. But it's not going to help you if you don't know where to open it, right? So I'm going to give you my top 5 places to open it, one of which has a secret benefit that I don't think enough people know about. So you definitely want to stay tuned for that one. But I'll start off with the one that I personally have, and that is Fidelity. I've been with Fidelity for 11 years, and nobody's paying me, by the way, to do any of these, okay? This is my own research and what I thought was best for y'all since, I know y'all. We've been talking for quite a while here on the YouTubes. But Fidelity's first one that I have on the list is one I've had for years. The reason why I like it is the app is relatively simple. I love the fact that I can do fractional shares. I like that I can have all of my things in one place. So the college accounts for my kids, the joint accounts for me and my wife, my accounts, I like having stuff in one place. Now, it's not the only investing app I use, but for my real serious money, it's all at Fidelity. I also like the level of security that they have. Before Google and Facebook and all these other places start to ask for 2-factor authentication, Fidelity had it for years. It used to annoy me. Now I'm just used to it at this point because everybody else is asking for a code, app, and all that kind of stuff. Not only do they have the security and the simplicity factor and the organization factor, they have great customer service. Every single time that I have a question, morning, noon, or night, they're there to answer it. They're there to do it in a very easy and simple way. And that's what I enjoy, because when I need to talk to somebody, I want to talk to them relatively quick. I want to do so in a way that I can understand. I don't want people talking over my head. So every time, Fidelity has been the place for me. And when I was doing my first rollover, this is like back in 2015, taking my 401k money and putting it inside of a traditional IRA, they walked me through the entire process, sent me emails about what was going on, and just made the process super, super simple. So Fidelity is the first one that I would go to for somebody who wants customer service, somebody who wants to have multiple different options inside of one particular app. But that's not for everybody. If you want something a bit different, you might want to check out Charles Schwab. Number 2 on our list. Charles Schwab is extremely popular. I have not personally had an account with them yet, and I hesitate because I did have TD Ameritrade, which was bought by Charles Schwab, and they're doing that merge now. So I don't have it yet, but that is switching over here pretty soon. Every client that I've had that has had Charles Schwab, whether a coaching client or a client of mine when I was an advisor, they loved it. Their customer service is also very good. What I like about Charles Schwab, perhaps more than some of these other apps, is you have the option to do self-directed, which means you choose your own investments and you do everything on your own, or you can do one of their intelligent portfolios. So it's called Schwab Intelligent Portfolios, and you put the money into it and they invest it for you. Now, it is a fee for doing so. Call me in the minority or whatever, but just because you pay somebody for financial advice doesn't make it the worst thing in the world. I would rather pay somebody to avoid a mistake versus me going through it and realize, hey, I just cost myself $20,000 when I could have paid this dude $200. Okay, just throwing it out there. But that option is out there, and I like the fact that you can choose, right? You don't have to just go into it and only use a robot to do your investments. You can say, I want to do my own, and then when you don't feel like doing it, you can switch over and have the robot do it, and vice versa. So Charles Schwab is number 2 on the list. Next one here is Vanguard. Vanguard is the originator here, is particularly for index funds. If you're somebody who only wants to invest in index funds, you don't want to choose your own individual stocks, and you want to stick with index funds and do nothing else, and you are low maintenance, I would say that Vanguard is the place for you to go. The one thing I'm concerned about for Vanguard, and this has changed in recent years, is some Vanguard mutual funds, index mutual funds to be specific, may have a minimum. Now, back in the day, I say back in the day, like 10, maybe 12 years ago, you had to start with anywhere between $3,000 to $5,000 to invest at Vanguard or choose one of their funds. A lot of that has come down. Okay, a lot of that has come down, but you definitely want to read the fine print because these things do change from time to time. But Vanguard, if you are low maintenance, you know you want to do index funds and nothing else, Vanguard is the absolute place that you want to go to. They, again, have been around for a mighty, mighty long time. I also think that the fact that, at least my perception, it doesn't seem like it's busy, right? Like apps like Robinhood, there's no shade to Robinhood, but you get a lot of notifications, a lot of bells, a lot of whistles, and all this kind of stuff that can distract you. Vanguard is very straightforward. You invest in index funds and nothing else, and history shows you're going to make a lot of money by investing in index funds. There's nothing wrong with that. So Vanguard obviously needs to be on the list. Next one we have here is Betterment. While Betterment is not the originator of what we call robo-advisors, you put your money in and a robot tells you what to invest in, or they invest in it on your behalf, it is one of the most popular. Now, what I like about Betterment, it is inexpensive. There is a fee, but it is inexpensive. And the fact that they do all the stuff, including what we call tax loss harvesting. Now, I've talked about taxes before. Basically, you can sell an investment in some cases and write that loss off on your taxes. They do all that stuff for you. You don't have to sit down and look at your portfolio like I do and put it in an Excel sheet and decide, I need to sell this so I can take $500 off a tax bill. You ain't got to do that. Okay, so that makes things a whole lot simpler. It's automated. I have some clients that have done extremely, extremely well with Betterment, and I haven't heard of any issues from the people that I've spoken to and the people I've researched. And the things I've researched about Betterment is one you want to have on your list if you're somebody who is a bit more tech savvy and wants to be hands-off. So you understand how to use the apps and all that. You have the option to call someone if you choose to. I've heard their customer service is pretty solid. And you are somebody that says, look, I just want to have this hands off, I need to call somebody I can, and I want to be a good, competent investor, then Betterment is the place that you should go. The last one here is not one that I would ever have expected to have on this list, and this is the one that has the secret benefit to it. It's SoFi. SoFi does have an investing app. I have opened an account. We've talked about this back when Rivian went public. Okay, so it's not new that SoFi has an investing app. What is relatively new, at least to me, is number one, you can open a Roth IRA, but number two, you have the option, if you have a SoFi account, whether you have money in it or not, whether you invest there or not, you have the option to speak to a CFP, a Certified Financial Planner, for free. Now, I originally wrote about that benefit for an article in Fortune, and I decided, hey, let me call them and just see how this works and what that process is like, because anytime that I bring something up to y'all, I have tested it, researched it, and tried it in some way, right? I don't talk about stuff that I don't know, okay? And I called them, had a quick conversation, about 30 minutes. It was very easy to schedule, and I went right through the app, did all that. And what I liked about it most is there wasn't a follow-up sales process. Sometimes you'll get a free financial plan from some institutions, and they'll hit you for months and months and months about, hey, come in so you can buy this thing. Hey, come in, we can sign you up for some process that's going to cost you, $1,000 a year or whatever it's going to be. There wasn't any of that. It felt very casual, very informal. Asked questions, got the answers. Remember, this is CFP. It's not customer service. This is someone who has stringent tasks they have to pass, tests they have to pass, as well as standards they have to go through to be a CFP. I know from experience. And the fact that it was got all the things I needed answered, and then nobody hit me up and said, hey, do you want to buy this thing, or do you want to sign up for this program and pay whatever? No, it wasn't there. Talked to them, things were great. So if you had any other questions, send me an email. My email was in the calendar invite, and that was it. That's how simple it was. I love the fact there wasn't a pressure to buy things after. The SoFi app, from my experience, I only have one stock on SoFi, so it's not like my primary app, because I already told you my primary app is Fidelity. It's easy, simple. I've never had any delays there. It is more tech savvy, if you ask me. The other benefit that SoFi has, perhaps more than any other app here, is the fact that you can do your banking. If you have any auto loans or student loans, you can tie that in there as well. Then you got your regular IRAs and your regular investing accounts too. So it can be a one-stop shop for everything in a way that others cannot. From my experience, though, I can open up a bank account at Fidelity. It just doesn't feel like a bank. It definitely feels more like a bank at SoFi. So I can have all of that stuff in one specific app for all of my financial needs if I decide to do it, or if you decide to do that. So somebody who wants a one-stop shop for everything, perhaps SoFi is the answer for you. Can you have a Roth IRA at all these places? Yes, you can. You absolutely can. It's not going to increase the fact that you can only put in $6,500. Okay, that's not going to change just because you open more of them. I would advocate, though, that you limit the places that you have your retirement accounts because of those limits, and you want to be very careful about what's invested where and have a better picture. So I don't suggest having a Roth IRA in 5 different places. Okay, I would choose one and dedicate your stuff there. If you don't like it, transfer everything to another app if that's what you want to do. Now, I'm going to reiterate this because we talked about it early in the video. This is just an investing account. It's not an investment. Once you open the account and you start to put money into it, you have to decide what to invest in. Is it an index fund? Is it Apple? Is it Tesla? Or a combination of those? But if you are sitting here and you're like, okay, I understand what a Roth IRA is. I know a few places I can start one, but what should I invest in once I get it? That video is right here.